Disney's new The Little Mermaid got dislike bombed, 2.4 million dislikes. That's like 80% dislikes. How come? Is it because it's based on merit, as the right wing would say, that if you're good, you earn more, if you're bad, things get worse for you? Okay, let's look at it. Is it based on merit? Was the music bad? Not really. Is she a criminal? Not really. Is she a bad actress? You wouldn't know because the clip is very short. It's because she is black and there is systematic racism and black people are perceived as less, they are perceived as a threat, they are perceived as not as competent just because they are. And that is the point what Walt Disney is trying to do. They are trying to break these stereotypes and pictures of, white being the beautiful and black being the ugly. So they are doing these kinds of promotions. But it just shows how racist people still are in 2022. Now, let's listen to what Trevor Noah says about it.
Every time one of these internet outrage things happens about which character is being played by whom and people get angry, I would get it if people had good faith arguments, but you can tell that people are just using these moments to disguise a discriminatory ideal and a racism that they hold. It's your thing. People are gonna act like, oh no, the Little Mermaid, I'm here because I'm a Little Mermaid purist. And come up with all these bullshit answers. They'll be like, you look at the history of the Little Mermaid. I'm sorry, the history of the Little Mermaid? You mean the imagination of the Little Mermaid? If you look at it, if you were a fan, you would have known that Disney had long created black mermaids. They did this, they spin off all their movies, they've had tons of them.
Yeah, and even if you now would be a historical purist, shouldn't she be Irish with red hair? All right, so let's turn it around. If The Little Mermaid 1989, which I saw when I was a kid, I love that movie, it's a classic. If she would have been a black mermaid, and today in 2022, they would have done a recreation with a white mermaid, do you think that it would have been disliked bombed? Not really. So these arguments don't hold.
Had a black mermaid, she did sign language, used to be a cartoon when we were kids. People don't care about it. They're like, it's never happened. It's just, look, here's the thing, it's not about race, it's just about realism. I'm sorry, what? And then it's ironic that they try to use representation as the argument the other way around. So they will say, it's not about representation. It shouldn't. Who cares who plays the role? All that matters is the best person gets the job. And it's like,
and that's the point, which is the typical right-wing argument that the right wing, the far right, thinks that the world is based on meritocracy. That's a racist thing to say because that says that white people are better than everyone else because they are competing on an even playing field and they get more and Africa and black people get less. So that means that white people are better. So claiming meritocracy is, first of all, it's denying systemic racism, but it is also a way to lift yourself up as a white man. And that's what Jordan Peterson does and also Alexander Bard in Sweden. And it's very racist. It's not based on merit. If that would have been a white woman, she would have been totally liked. And that's the end of it. And if there would not have been any Little Mermaid earlier to reference, still, if it would have been a white woman, she would have been liked, and the black woman got disliked. And it has nothing to do with merit. It's because people don't like black people. Young white dudes online don't like black people, period. But the world is changing, so get used to it.
You heard Halle Bailey sing? Have you heard her sing? You're going to tell me the best person, who do you think they got for, you think Disney is just out there in the street like you, come, let's go.
They got someone really good.
Like that.
And she's beautiful.
It is the best person for the job. You're angry about who the best person was. That's what you're angry about. And it's like, no, but the Little Mermaid, she means so much. And I don't deny that. I don't deny that it must have been amazing for any red-haired little girl to see the Little Mermaid. It must have been amazing. It's a beautiful experience. But the movie's still there. You get what I'm saying? It's not gone. You can't not watch it. It hasn't been burned. It is still there. You can still watch it and you can enjoy it. I do all the time. It's not going anywhere. It's like, you get so angry. But what about the little girls with red hair who want what? See themselves in what? A Disney cartoon? Are you being serious right now? You have the Princess and Brave. She was redhead. Remember her, right? You have Anna from Frozen, right? You have the little kid from Up. Remember the one like pulls off the helmet and like the hair does a thing? It's the cutest thing. It's like, ah! Remember that? Red hairs. There's tons of other characters. There are more red-haired Disney like stars, like women who are stars in the franchise, than black women. But now you're going to make it seem like and it's not like one should be against the other. There's no need. You have the Little Mermaid. It's fun. Now you've got Halle Berry playing the real version of it. That's fun. Don't make it about realism. Guys, it's under the sea. There's a crab. There's a crab that is going to talk, and you're worried about this element? People are like, oh, I just think it should be. It's all the thing. And then I love when people go, oh yeah, so if you don't
feel threatened.
then how would you feel if the
white people feel threatened by black people? They feel that they are being threatened. And the world is changing. And it is changing. So get used to it.
Black Panther was played by a white guy. I'm like, well, the difference here is the Black Panther. Blackness is central to the character's identity. Like literally. You know what I mean? It's like literally, that is the whole point of the thing. And by the way, if you're going to bring a white guy who's going to be like Vibranium, bring him. I want to see that guy. Just for fun.
Yeah. Indeed, I don't care. A White Panther, whatever.
Just for the fun of it. Let's see what happens.
If it's good, it's
many
good.
People who haven't seen themselves on screen, you're going to get angry. You're going to get angry because now somebody who's in a wheelchair is playing this role. You're going to get angry because somebody who's black is now playing that role. The original is still there. There are many parts that are still out there. It's not like there is nothing left. It's not like there's one movie in the world and there's one story and this is the only way you can tell it. There are many. Calm down. Or at the very least, we should get them to meet with Ursula and then she'd take their voices away.
I remember that. It's a good part of the movie.
Until somebody kisses you, yeah, don't come back.
Yeah. So I think that the point here is that the conservatives always argue that it's based on merit. But you keep on, in my experience, it's not based on merit. White people tend to promote each other and they tend to push you aside because you're black. This is not just my experience. This is something you can show in statistics. It's the same in the Netherlands, in Sweden. It's definitely like that in the US. It's like that everywhere. So you have this systemic racism. And when you have a very beautiful young actress who probably sings really well and probably does the role really good get dislike bombed like this, everyone knows it because she's black. Period. So she was already handicapped from the beginning. She was never allowed to even show how good she is of an actress because she's black and there's this negative perception about black people. And this dislike bombing shows it. But alhamdulillah, the world is changing. So let's have some faith.